Hello and welcome. Today we've got this Dewalt 5 ampere battery showing no bars. You put it in the charger, it's giving us absolutely nothing. Try it in this impact driver, for example. It's not even lighting the LEDs. No, getting nothing there. If you have a battery like this, I'm going to show you what you do to fix it. First thing you do is hook it up to the meter. Plus and minus. And it says there we're getting 6.5 volts, which for an 18 volt battery and 20 volt when it's fully charged is not a lot. So we're going to open it and see what's going on inside. Right, with the battery open now, with the top off anyway, and the first thing to check for is under here. Sometimes this little connection burns out. Usually that would cut all power coming out of the battery, but that's not what's happening here. The terminals aren't that clean, but they're probably not problematic, so no broken connections at the top of the battery. You can check these little boys here, these little guys. As you see, if you see anything broken, everything looks fine there at the top. So the next step is to just get it out of the casing. And that's it out of the casing now. And the next thing you do is go around the sides and make sure that these are all attached. Sometimes you can get spot welds that are broke away and let go. And they can look like they're attached to you. Give them a little try, you know. But this one seems to have be fully attached anyway. The next thing is to check the individual banks of cells. Again with a voltmeter. This bank's reading 3.6, 3.6, nothing. 3.6 and 3.6. So what's wrong here is the middle bank of cells has given up. So we need to do cell replacement. Just replace those two in the middle and we should be good to go. The next part of the process is to pop these two cells out. This is where you need to be careful. I use a wee sharp screwdriver just to break those spot welds off. And we can get them slid out then. There we are. That's the two out now. Now as you can see, two of them are showing virtually nothing there. So completely dead, completely kaput. So what I intend to do is replace them with these ones. These are a slightly different brand. I think the ones that they got out were Sanyo, but I think these are LG. Same output, they're 2500 milliamp cells, just like the ones in the pack. One's 3.85, one's 3.66. They will balance each other out when I join them together, and there won't be too much cell imbalance. So we should get nearly full charge when we put these on. That's them in place now. So all we've got to do is join them to the original cells, join the pack together. I'm going to show you how to do this now. So that's our pack all connected up with the aid of our DIY spot welder and a soldering iron to connect the wee balancers. So we'll get it back into the casing and see what we have. That's it all back together, and it's showing 2 bars now, which is very, very promising. So I'm going to do a volt check, and then we're going to try it on the charge. So we've got 18.17 volts. That's a good chargeable voltage. That's what you would expect. So let's get it in the charger to see what we have. Have we something that will charge or not? Charging, so that's going to take a bit of time now, so we'll leave it here and we'll come back to it later. Some time has passed now, and we've got a solid red light on the charger, which means a fully charged battery. We've got the 3 bars, and if we check the voltage, we've got 19.7. which is not surprising. It didn't quite reach the 20 volts because we'll have a little bit of cell imbalance with the 2 cells that I put on not exactly matching in voltage. But that's good enough for me for a country fix, to be honest. Try it on the impact driver, see how it does. I'm calling that fix. This DCD696. As you can see, it's losing power in the trigger, it's inconsistent. So we're going to get it into the workshop and see what we can do about that. Here we have her on the operating table now. I'll just get her open. The next thing I'm going to use is Doctor Lefthandthread's Back to Life Juice, or as other people call it, electrical contact cleaner. So we'll just put this back together and see if the fix has worked. Once it's all back together again now, let's see how we did. It's more consistent power now. DCN692 framing nailer. It's a type 3. It's a fairly newish one, but it's not going. It's not ramping up or anything. There's a full battery in case you're curious. She is doing nothing. One of these behaving in this manner, what you do is you screw out these Allen keys in the side of her, like that. One of these on each side. And pull off the back. Now, sometimes before you start working and stuff, you're supposed to take the battery out of them, but in this case I'm not going to bother, and I'm going to show you why. Check if this ramps up with the springs out of her. What do you see? So it ramps up. So what that tells me is there's a problem here. And on visual inspection, you see that the springs broke. At least one of these springs are broke. But you're always better to replace these in pairs anyhow. These are Dewalt genuine springs for the Type 3 DCN692 nailer. That's the part number N233943. And they're not very expensive. These springs is one of the easiest DIY fixes you'll ever do. And it's quite simple. You can't really go wrong. There's the new springs there. And to remove the old ones, there's just little bumpers in the end. You see them. You just take them off. Like that. And that. Okay. There's a washer as well. So we'll slide that off, that spring, and you can see it's come off in two pieces. Yep. So that was well gone. You slide on the new one. Like this. The washer. This thing. And slide that cap on again. Okay. And you do the same thing on the other side. That spring's intact, but we will replace them in pairs because that's the best thing to do. They help aid the performance of your nailer, and you do buy them in pairs too. So, but being the type of guy I am, I will retain that old spring, maybe for a later date. That maybe will help me out for an old cheap fix for somebody. That's all intact now. The next stage is just put it back in again. Tighten up the screws. With their nailer fully assembled, as you see, I never took a battery out because, you know, that's the way I roll. I'll just try it here again. There we are. It's DCS391 Dewalt saw with a fully charged battery in it, and it is not going. To show you what's wrong with this, we need to get right into it, and we need to remove these screws. These 4 long ones here, just. That should lift straight off. You can see how far down the brushes are in this thing. I'm willing to bet if we did a brush change, we would have a fully functional saw again. The right way to fix this is to replace this whole housing, like this one here. But what you have to do to remove that housing and replace it, you have to take that whole thing apart, and you can't get access to remove that from this side. You have to open all this here and take it down. I've done it before, it's not that bad, but I'm going to show you a quicker, hackier, easier fix how to do it. What we're going to do on this instance is put these brushes in, solder them onto this original housing, and remove the old ones. This works out cheaper because these are less than half the price of the full housing. Get down to business and get the old brushes out first. Let's see, that's stuck rightly in there. There it is. Oh, it broke off. That's not good. There we are. That's one out, anyway. This is sort of a aftermarket. You don't get these brushes separate like this from Dewalt as far as I know. I think it's sort of an aftermarket thing that somebody does, which is, you know, good if you want a shortcut like me and want to save money, because that's what this channel's all about, saving a few bob here and there, showing you how you can do it. That's one down. These are really stuck in there. There we are. That's not all of it. See, the rest they poked out. That's bad. The brushes came out in bits. They're in bad shape, no doubt about it. We definitely needed them. Yeah, that's number 2. That's 3. 1 more to go. Well, that's the 4 soldered on now. The 4 aftermarket brushes. That's where I got them. Top deals online. They're on eBay, or you can probably go onto their own website. That won't win any beauty contests, but it'll do the job, I would say. What I'll do is just set the lid back on again without any further ado. See if we can get this bad boy running. Going to slam on a battery, see how the fix has done for us. That's perfect. Got this DCS331 Dewalt Jigsaw. This one looks perfectly fine, except for one thing. You shouldn't be able to do that with a blade guide. It's wobbling back and forward. This should sit straight. The jigsaw on the operating table. We're going to have a look what we've got to do to get into this. Like I say, this is something's broke there. We've got to take the whole front of this just to get access. There we are, let's pan out. You see where that broke off there? Huh? If you compare that with the new one, you can see what's gone wrong there. There we are, finally. That was tricky to line up, but we got there. That's her back together. As you see, no movement in the blade. Guide, and all works as it should. I'm starting to sew a little bit. Yep, that's alright. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and check out my channel for all my other videos.